ultimate decision depending on when I. Chapter 4 Understanding the Decision Process. AID- Attention, Interest, Decision, Action. People naturally follow a similar mental trajectory when they make decisions. If we are trying to persuade them to take action, we must also have a firm grounding in this entire process. Overview of the decision process. In 1898, Elias St. Elmo Lewis pioneered a framework for describing stages of consumer interest and behavior. In effect, he created the modern concept of the sales funnel. All people were thought to progress through 4 stages covered by the acronym AIDA. Awareness, attention, interest, and desire, decision, action. In 1911, Frederick Sheldon added a 5th post-sale stage called permanent satisfaction, and thus extended the model to AIDAS. The final S in AIDAS is mainly a function of your user's experience with your actual product or service, and is the key to repeat sales. However, since this is a book about landing page optimization, you should be concerned mainly with the steps leading up to the first conversion action. This is where the design of your landing page in the absence of other experiences with your company plays the most decisive role. Because of this, the original AIDA framework will be the primary focus. The key to properly applying this model is to make sure that there is continuity and flow to support a visitor's progression through each of the steps. None of the steps can be skipped, and all of them must happen in sequence. That is not to say that equal emphasis should be placed on each within your landing page, nor that visitors will spend an equal amount of time in each step. But there should be a clear path, and the proper support to keep them moving forward toward your conversion goal. In his book Submit Now, Designing Persuasive Websites, New Writers Press, 2002, Andrew Che closely follows the AIDAS model, and applies it specifically to website visitors. He correctly suggests that the website or landing page should be designed for 4 main user types corresponding to the mindset of each stage. Browsers may not know exactly what they want, but have an unmet need. Evaluators know enough to compare the available options, and are looking for detailed supporting information. Transactors have made buying decision, and need to quickly go through the mechanics of the actual transaction. Customers have completed their transaction, and need to sustain their satisfaction level until they transact again in the future. It is also helpful to realize that AIDA applies to different scales of tasks and different time frames. If I am a consumer researching the next computer to buy, I may take days or weeks to make my decision. My interaction with your website may be only one of dozens. I may have long ago forgotten about your website by the time I make my ultimate decision, depending on when I visited it, the intervening research that I have conducted, and the uniqueness of your company and its selling proposition. At the other extreme, the web supports small-scale and short-duration microtasks that may happen in a fraction of a second. Sometimes the task that you want the user to perform is simply to click through to another page on your site. Yet the same 4 steps must still happen during the visit for the conversion action to occur. Ultimately, you must help to answer 2 questions for a visitor to pass through all of the AIDA stages. Do you have what I want? Why should I get it from you? This process may not happen during a single visit or interaction. The ultimate goal may be weeks or months away. But you must provide a clear path to that goal, as well as support along every step of the way. If your conversion action typically has a long delay, then try to provide mechanisms to record your visitors' progress, and restart them in the most recent and relevant state upon their subsequent return visits to your landing page. As you will see in the sections that follow, the typical time spent in the awareness and interest stages on the web is very short. Most of the "Do you have what I want?" question is answered during the desire stage. However, without attention and interest, desire cannot even happen. Similarly, although the bulk of "Why should I get it from you?" is answered during the action stage, it cannot even be reached without passing through the other 3 stages in order. Awareness, and its close cousin attention are scarce commodities in our fast-paced world. We are constantly bombarded by information and strong sensory impressions. Unceasing advertisements hunt us from our first waking moments to our exhausted slumber at the end of the day. The pace of change keeps increasing and threatens to overwhelm us. The internet has given us access to a vast wealth of information, but has not helped us to organize or make sense of it. What information consumes is rather obvious: it consumes the attention of its recipients. Hence, a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention and a need to allocate that attention efficiently among the overabundance of information sources that might consume it. Herbert A. Simon, noted interdisciplinary computational and social scientist. There is only one possible response: build walls. People learn to tune everything out. You can call them cynical, jaded, or media savvy. But it really boils down to the same thing: they have to get desensitized to survive. So it takes more and more effort for an advertiser to break through the clutter and the noise to reach their target audience. You are not paying attention. Nobody is. Seth Godin, Permission Marketing. As Seth Godin points out in his excellent book Permission Marketing, this type of interruption advertising may still be necessary to make initial contact, but it should only be followed up with voluntary permission marketing once a visitor lands on your site. Permission marketing is a selfish and voluntary activity on the part of your web visitor. Over time you can trade things of greater value to the visitor in exchange for more information and a deeper level of relationship with them. Permission marketing has 3 key attributes. Anticipated: your prospects actually want to hear from you. Personal: your messages are tailored to each person. Relevant: your messages relate directly to visitors' needs. Let's look at the mindset of visitors during the awareness stage. They have just arrived at your site. Their level of commitment is very low and they may click away at any moment. They are looking for reassurance, recognition of their needs, and a clear path to follow. If something catches their eye, they may stay and explore further. Highlighted the rules of web awareness: if the visitor can't find something easily, it does not exist. If you emphasize too many items, all of them lose importance. Any delay increases frustration. Unfortunately, instead of going into a permission marketing mindset, most companies stay in interruption marketing mode on their landing pages. The elements of the landing page continue to scream, shout, and demand the visitor's attention. This is done through the use of bold color blocks, bright images and graphics, and large front headlines all trumpeting different items to click on. Banner ads. A big awareness thief is the third-party or in-house ad on your own landing pages. It is an invitation to throw away your visitors' attention and transport them to another website. Ads are specifically designed to grab awareness. Visual banner ads in particular are known for using bright, dramatic colors and provocative headlines. Many banner ads include animation and flashing colors to get noticed. Since most websites do not control the exact ads that will run on their pages, this is an invitation for disaster. A single banner ad can radically shift the attention away from your intended conversion action. Unless your primary business model is advertising supported, ads should be eliminated from your site, or at least radically de-emphasized. Entry pop-ups. The absolute best way to destroy someone's attention is the use of entry pop-ups. These are floating windows that appear in front of your landing page, as soon as it loads into the visitor's browser. Such pop-ups typically included a call to action, such as filling out a form or clicking on a link leading to a special offer. Regardless of how they are technically implemented, they require an interaction by the visitor in order to deal with them. This means that the visitor must complete the intended action, or at least click on the pop-up, in order to close and dismiss it from your computer screen. In effect, entry pop-ups prevent you from getting to the content of the landing page, and are seen as an unwelcome surprise by most web users. Entry pop-ups represent the most blatant kind of in-your-face interruption advertising. They will anger, annoy, frustrate, and distract your visitors, before they even see your landing page. Worst of all, using entry pop-ups shows really poor thinking on the part of the marketer responsible for their creation. If the pop-up's desired conversion action is your most important one, then it properly belongs on the landing page itself. If the conversion action on the landing page is different than the one in the pop-up, then the two can be displayed on the landing page side by side, instead of resorting to use of the pop-up. By emphasizing one or the other through the use of visual cues on the landing page, you can control their relative importance and steer people toward the more desirable one. Entry pop-ups are an indication that your ability to prioritize is severely impaired, and that you do not trust your actual landing page to get the job done on its own. It is absolutely unnecessary to compete with your own landing page, and in the process alienate the vast majority of your visitors. Exit pop-ups. The effect of exit pop-ups is not as clear. These are similar to entry pop-ups, but appear only when someone is clicking away from your landing page or website. Exit pop-ups may try to entice you with a last-minute promotion, ask you to sign up for an email newsletter in exchange for your contact information, or gather survey information about your reason for leaving. All of these can be seen as secondary conversion actions that have value to you. Since your primary conversion action did not happen, you can at least try to extract a little extra value from your visitor stream, especially if you are paying to get them there. This may seem to contradict what I wrote earlier about competing for attention with your own landing pages. But in fact it is not. You are competing for attention with your web visitors' next destination. They have already made the decision to move on, and in a sense you have nothing to lose. So a final dose of interruption marketing may salvage a tiny fraction of these people. Of course, taken to an extreme this may frustrate people, and leave them with a negative impression of your company. So be judicious in your use of exit pop-ups. Homepage awareness. Single-purpose landing pages are relatively easy to streamline for attention. By contrast, home pages are hard. Home pages are often burdened with demands put on them by every functional department within a company. One of their many duties is to serve as a landing page for type-in traffic, SEO traffic, some PPC traffic, and inbound links from other websites. Because of their many other legitimate functions, they are often severely compromised as landing pages. Consider Adorama's homepage www.adorama.com. Shown in Figure 4.1. It illustrates many of the common homepage issues. Adorama sells a broad array of photography-related gear, and the visitor is presented with a bewildering array of choices. There are 146 clickable items on this page. Product shots feature a dozen disparate items that range in price from $24.95 to $799.95. Bright graphical banner ads across the top and right side of the page clamor for attention, leading to specific items on the site. A scrollable news ticker and rotating banner ads draw the eye through motion. Which of the following actions are visitors expected to take? Read the scrolling news bar. They probably did not come there for photo industry news. By replacement, lithium-ion battery compatible only with certain Nikon cameras. This is limited to a very small segment of the visitors to the homepage, who already own the compatible models of cameras. Click on the Cryptic Photo Essentials category. Even if they read down to the 13th position on the left navigation bar to reach this item, they would be hard-pressed to figure out what it means. See figure page 99.